there's so much information that it gets difficult at times to chunk it down, so to speak. The best place to start is understanding our own subconscious, becoming more consciously aware of the different functions and processes that's going on in our own subconscious. So just the body movement as a beginning to be able to know what the subconscious is processing. There's a simple map. There's, to begin with, there's also other maps, and it does become more complicated. It's very easy to learn when you take it, one step at a time, one map at a time. I've gotten it to the point, but then I've been studying it for more than 15 years. And I've gotten it to the point that just hearing the words, because the words also are representative of our different human senses. A large percentage of our human experience is just via our human senses. And from our human sensory experiences, the subconscious builds most of our personalities, our identities, our beliefs, and all of these things and others add up to create our life experience. And we're creating it. We're creating our life experience all the time, every moment. We're constantly thinking about a life experience that's happened, is happening, or might happen. And we've already got it figured out in our own minds the way that it's going to work out. It doesn't always have to work out the way that we figure it out in our own minds that it's going to work out. Still, the way that we figure out in our mind that it is going to work out is the way we're going to respond to it, regardless of how it works out. And I'm not sure if you exactly understood what I meant when I said those things. Still, just learning the information is going to increase your intelligence. To be able to know yourself is just literally talking about knowing your inner functions, your inner processes. And even though the patterns are all the same and the structure is the same, the interpretations are different for different ones of us. We all interpret it a little differently, and this is because of conscious. And yet at the same time, conscious, it's a rock and a hard spot, because at the same time, conscious processes, evaluating, judging, deciding, perceiving, is all based on subconscious programs that's already come in just through our human senses, and external responses to those sensory stimuli and our internal conscious response. Still, we call it conscious, even though it's just really a programmed reality based on what's going on inside of us because of our subconscious. Don't know if that kind of sounded a little rock and a hard spot or oxymoron. I honestly don't think we're as complicated as some of the vehicles they produce today, or some of the computers or camera kind of equipment or things like that they have today. It may be mostly because we are living beings. We're living beings, and we have choice. And choice is one of the greatest gifts that man has, that so many other things on this earth don't possess, is choice. It's hard, though, to have choice when you don't have knowledge. Knowledge is important in order to be able to have choice. So it's really important. Everybody, I went to International Medical Dental Hypnotherapy School. And as I learned how the human mind's work, I decided I'm not going to do hypnosis. My goal in life is to teach people how to use their own minds. Everybody's got a brain. They have the right to learn how to run it. The talk about blocks in our human senses. I would visit with people all the time that will talk to me about whether it's their problem or a problem with a family member or a loved one. And like I say, it's also recognizable. Just that little map is of our senses and our body movement is recognizable also with just words, because a large percentage of words represent different human senses. Like, for example, the sense of sight. Oh, I see what you're doing. Well, if you look at what I'm talking about, it seems like you're not really perceiving my message. All those words indicate the sense of sight, etc., etc., etc. And there's even more, because there's more functions of each of the senses. And even though it's for me to be able to tell somebody what might be going on when a loved one of theirs is having a problem, if I can get them to even just quote their loved one, then the answer of what their problem is within their own words. I've said many times, you can't have a question without knowing the answer. It's absolutely impossible. If your subconscious, which it puts everything together for us. As I'm speaking, I'm not consciously creating my words and my sentences and putting them together. I'm just opening my mouth and my tongue's moving and my hands are moving or whatever else is moving and I'm talking. So it's a subconscious process, even though I realize I'm consciously talking and basically what I'm talking about. So to be able to just hear the words, if I can get somebody to quote, then within their own words, I know what's going on in the subconscious, what's been blocked or malfunctioning in the subconscious, just in the human senses, just through the human sensory process. And just from that process can tell people what it is that they might ought to do. And you can do it too. You can do it too. It's really a simple process. Again, most of what we're doing is just getting in life's experiences, our 6 human senses. And from our 6 human sensory input that we get, the subconscious puts together information for us. Now, it's not that simple. It goes through some data compressions and other processes to get it for us, then conscious gets to perceive it. The information doesn't just come directly into conscious, it's coming microsecond into the subconscious, being processed and then coming up to conscious. And all of this information is stored within us. You can't know a question without knowing the answer. And when you learn these things, these processes, in the question, you'll hear the answer. Just like when people talk to me at their own words, as they tell me what the problems are, their own words in turn tell me what the solution is. There are primary questions that go with each one of the senses, other primary conscious functions. There's major and minor meta programs, which are basically data processes that the subconscious uses to process the sensory information for conscious to have access. I could go on and on, because once I get talking, it's kind of hard to stop talking about it. I get pretty excited about it. Oftentimes, though, people come up to me and say, I can't decide which answer is right for me. And I'll say, yep, that's the one I choose too. And they'll be like, what did she say? And It's a very simple map with probably of the human body divided in down the center and then divided at the shoulders and basically just below the belly button, and with I would say about 6 pieces of information in each of those different areas. And down the center, a person such as yourself could know almost everything you'd ever want to know about yourself, about others, to be able to help yourself, to be able to help others. The subconscious, as far as I'm concerned, is a part of being human. To me, as eternal beings, and prior to becoming human beings, we were completely conscious beings. Subconscious wasn't created, in my opinion, when we became human. Subconscious was created when we became human, because every fiber of our being is conscious. And for us to be able to once again consciously get in tune with what's now known as subconscious and the rest of us, it's a part of growth in becoming more powerful as a human being. We're looking at, I don't know if you want to put this on or not, but we're looking at doing IQ tests on people prior to teaching them some of this information, let alone the techniques that go along with it that help consciously help the subconscious actually go through the different change processes to be able to have more conscious control and have more conscious outcome as you choose it to be. And then after the person knows the information and some of the techniques and does them, do another IQ test. Literally just knowing ourselves is just literally knowing how our subconscious works. Just the information. Know how your subconscious works, how it processes information. One simple little thing is it's known as reverse effect. In the subconscious, when information comes in, it processes everything literally as it came in, sensory information, literally as it came in, and its exact opposite. So we can have choice. And also, so if we have the question, we have the answer. If we have a problem, we have the solution, because the subconscious has taken every microbit of information that's coming in, processed it exactly literally as it is, and then processed its opposite. It's already, all of it's inside of us. It's not so much a matter of learning who we are as it is remembering who we are.